art in like the art world, and I'm talking about like, you know, Michelangelo and all that. They all have their schools.
Like the turtle?
Yeah, no.
Oh.
The Michelangelo. The one the turtle was named for. But, like, I think it's the same thing with comic book artists. They all kind of fall into their same sort of generations. And I almost, like, when I look at Jason Fabok's artwork, it reminds me a lot of Jim Lee.
Gary Frank.
Yeah, like, I feel like they're the following generation of that, and they take a lot of inspiration
and that's
from
their
that.
inspiration.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Inspiration, but, like, they don't really have, like, a specific, like, trademark on their artwork. Like, Frank Whiteley, you know it's...
And Alex Ross, come on.
And Alex Ross,
you will always
can
know. Yeah.
These guys, it's just like, okay, I have a 1 in 5 chance of getting it right.
Well, you know what? I think
and whatever
that's where...
DC tells me is okay.
Ironically, I don't know, it's not ironically, it's International Women's Day, and I think that's kind of where the women, like, right now in the industry are sort of kicking ass. Like, you can tell a lot of the women now with their art, like Fiona Staples. You know her work right away when you see it. Like Nicola Scott, you know her work right away when you see
Jordi Belair. She colors, but you know she's coloring because there's a certain tinge to it.
You know what? Shout out to the women then for like making their mark and like making themselves known. Like that is awesome.
Yeah, we need that. And you know what? Speaking of International Women's Day, I think there's, you know, I'm impressed with the way that things are going in the comic industry in terms of the shows that are coming out. You know, we're not just showing women in the shows, but we're watching them in 3-dimensional characters. We're watching them as, you know, straight women, gay women, you know, women of color. There's so much diversity there, and I really, really appreciate that. You know, Jessica Jones, that's like a really dark storyline, like in season 1. You know, that's a really dark storyline, and it's touching on touchy subjects, right?
Yeah, for sure.
The same thing with Supergirl. You know, there's the Alex stuff going on right now. There's so many really good storylines for girls right now. Anyway, we're reading stuff as well. We wanted to talk about the kind of things that we've caught up with this week. Wanted to let you guys know as well, I've been catching up on Action Comics because the 1000 issue is coming out mid-April or at the end of April? April 18th.
On Geoff's birthday.
On Geoff's birthday! Wait, that is your birthday, right? You've just admitted you don't know what your anniversary is. It's on your phone though, right? Okay. So if, you know what, the reason why I picked up Action Comics as well is I really miss the Man of Steel. You know, I haven't really been reading him, and you know, with the movies, it's just certainly a different take from what I'm used to. And Rebirth, what I really appreciate with them is that they're really bringing back that core Superman.
Yeah, finally.
Yeah. I didn't really get into, I don't know why I didn't really get into the New 52 Superman too much.
Well, like, I can probably tell you why. It's because they were like, what if we made him flawed? Let's put Scott Lobdell on it. He knows how to write. And then
like, I don't know, like, it wasn't my cup of Superman.
I think with New 52, I mean, my only experience of him was, like, reading all of the Justice League in New 52, and I found that, I think, the entire roster of characters at that point, they were just kind of going for this, like, flawed heroes thing. They were trying something new with, like, I think, bringing them essentially back to sort of the beginning, but then like let's all give them little flaws. Let's all give them things that we kind of can try to relate to. But I think in that process, they sort of forgot what made them so memorable and legendary in their own right. So it was one of those things where I actually really enjoyed the Justice League run of New 52 because I thought they were doing some cool things with some of the newer characters that they were introducing.
I liked a lot of the key issues, like the Atlantis stuff. I like the origin. Like I like how it started. Sure, But
yeah, like Geoff Johns did a good job, but like I think it was just certain elements of like each of the characters on their own just didn't work.
No, I know. Yeah. So, but I am back into it. Action Comics 957 is where I started, and I say this all the time. And I say, you know what? I'm gonna space it out. You know, I'm gonna do at least 3 issues tonight, and then 2 issues this night, and then I got to cook dinner the next day. And just like what I did with another book that I can't say what it was right now, that I read yesterday, I said I was going to read issue 1, and then this morning I wrote a review about it. So, I don't know what happened there, but
That's good literature.
I know, man. That's just what I'm saying. And right now, I am caught up until about 993 in Action Comics. And if you guys missed the Man of Steel, give this a try. Give him another chance. This is not like New 52 at all. I don't mean to knock the people that like New 52. If you got into it that way, for sure, go ahead and milk that for all you can. But this brings back really, really good Superman memories and who he really is. Another great read as well is Captain America and Marvel 2-in-1 for me. Marvel 2-in-1 is a Marvel Legacy line right now. It's The Thing and the Human Torch, and basically the storyline is the Human Torch is losing his flame. And if you're the Human Torch, I think that's a pretty big problem.
Yeah, that is.
So I think that's another good pickup. And guess what? Captain America, he's stuck in Iceberg again.
I remember this from before.
I know.
Deja vu.
How many times is this guy gonna get frozen and defrosted again? He's like that meat that you were planning to cook on Monday, and then you still forgot to take him out, and then it's Tuesday and you're eating spaghetti. You know what, Captain America? You need to stop doing that. You need to be stuck somewhere else.
Maybe just being freeze dried. Wait. I mean, smoked. I don't know.
I know.
Smoked Captain America.
The only thing I smoke is Captain America. But yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a fresh run. So if you miss Fantastic Four, I think this is the way that they're making it come back, is with Marvel 2-in-1. Right now, Reed Richards is missing. Hopefully we find him. I mean, we always find him. So yeah, give that a read. Cool. And anything else from comic world?
Speaking of Fantastic Four, has anyone picked up the Terrifics yet?
No,
I want to,
yeah.
but I don't know. I just haven't really been into the whole DC New Age Heroes thing.
Yeah, but this is the Fantastic Four copy pasted.
Yeah,
basically
into something else.
You got a stretchy guy and a smart guy, and they're two different people.
Yeah.
Well, in the animated movie verse, I recently watched DC's latest animated output, which was Gotham by Gaslight, made so that's their Batman Elseworld story, where Batman is set in a Victorian London, really steampunk
kind
Batman.
Of steampunk,
and he's hunting down Jack the Ripper. And the great thing about the animated film was that it was made by Bruce Timm, so the guy behind the classic Justice League animated series.
Does it still have the same visual style?
Same visual style,
Dang.
but obviously slightly elevated because since it is Jack the Ripper, there is quite a bit of violence and blood, so that's
good too.
That's a fun part. I will say the animated movie is fun. Definitely really great visually, and just a great way to enjoy Batman in sort of another kind of world entirely, seeing him in that
Bat steam.
Yeah, Bat steampunk. He still kind of has his gadgets, but it's so Victorian and just a little different. And we have Catwoman in it. Alfred's there. It's a cool roster, and there's lots of Easter eggs to be thrown around in how they incorporate other elements of.
Sorry, is the setting still Gotham?
Yeah, it's Gotham, but it's a Victorian London-esque Gotham.
Did they have cars?
So they didn't have cars. They had horses and buggies.
Okay,
and
so
stuff
it was
like
a
that.
bat
buggies?
Yeah, he doesn't have a Batmobile. He just runs around on rooftops.
What? No, he has to have
he has a
bat
horses with wings. Horse.
Gina Carano can do it in
but
Haywire. Why not? Right?
But it's definitely very different. But I definitely say take a gander at it, because it is a fun film.
For sure.
But I would say that it doesn't have the same impact, I think, as reading it. And then the artwork in the comic is much more gothic, much more Victorian, so you kind of lose a little bit of that impact with Bruce Timm's coloring style, because he tends to go with a little bit brighter tones. So I definitely say, if you want to have something to watch on a weeknight or whatever, when you have nothing to do, take a look at it, and then definitely give the trade a read, Gotham by Gaslight.
Who did the art on that one? I'm looking it up right now.
Don't know off the top of my head, but you're Googling it, so let us know.
Okay, so here it comes. It is scrolling.
I was interested in the Dark Knight's Metal. I haven't started it yet, but did you already start it, Lenny?
Yeah, that was one. that's another one of those things that's like, you know what, I'll wait for the trade on this one. But I've been following like a little bit of the news on it, and the concept is really fun. I tried explaining it to a coworker. He thought I was messed up in the head.
If we try to explain comics and any non-comic people, we all sound like weirdos.
We sound like crazy people. Yep.
Yeah, it's just like, you know, everyone is Batman. And then, wait, did I say this in the previous podcast?
That was the lost episode.
So it's not a repeat if I say it.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
So basically, in Metal, you have a Justice League, but all of them are Batman. And some, because they're all from like alternate dark universes. Justice Bats. And so you have Bruce, but a female Bruce from an alternate universe, and then there's a reverse. Huh? A girl? I don't know what her name is.
Well, I mean, I shouldn't say I'm a girl named Jowy, so.
Yeah.
What am I saying?
So there's an Earth 11 in regular multiverse where, Bruce is a girl. And now in the dark multiverse, Bruce is a girl and is Aquawoman.
What?
Also Batman. So Bat, Aquawoman,
Man,
woman.
Hey, man, it's a gender fluid world. You know?
I like it.
Sure, make it happen. Geoff, last thing I wanted to talk about was Amazing Spider-Man. Are you caught up?
Yeah, I'm after 797. Yeah.
797, and how do you feel?
I don't know. Again, obviously, the last couple issues, like with speculators, they've kind of been sort of getting hyped about the whole Red Goblin, right?
Yep.
But again, he still hasn't made an appearance, but there's been a lot of teases for it. But still, I find and this last arc, I guess, was Dan Slott. Obviously, before he leaves, it's been a lot better.
I think this is the last one, right?
It's what's it called, going down swinging or something.
Yeah, that's the one.
To 801, and then that's
Well, how do you feel about Dan Slott leaving? Did you like him as a writer?
Not
or
really. No, I don't.
Pretty much done.
I mean, I like Superior Spider-Man. I read all of that. I liked all that stuff with Dr. Octopus. But I didn't really I never really. Because I don't really care for the whole way that's the Tony Stark Spider-Man kind of. Where it's this whole rich guy, he has his own tech company and everything.
It's, you know what? Every time that's brought up, I feel like they're making Peter Parker this World Vision kid from New York.
You can be this too.
It's not why I like Spider-Man.
For only $1 Stark dollar a day, you can sponsor your own Peter Parker. No, and I hear you. That's not.
Yeah, that's not all three Tony Stark. It's Iron Man or something. I don't.
Yeah. No, I hear you. Well, we will be back soon again next week. We will always, always, always try to release a new podcast every week. Thank you, everybody.
Before we sign off, we found out who the artist is for Elseworlds Gotham by Gaslight Batman.
Yeah, how can we miss this? Mike Mignola, Mr. Hellboy.
Mike Mignola,
really?
the man behind Hellboy.
Oh my god. That is shameful.
Off the top of my head.
I'm sorry for anyone who smacked their heads.
They're like, come on, you know this. No, okay, well, thank you for letting us know. Of course, as I said, we will try to bring you as much podcast goodness as possible. Again, we're signing out. Joey from Comics Inc.
Cyrille.
Jeff.
Leonard.
Kenya without a pizza this time.
Without a pizza.
Because it's in your stomach after chewing.
Oh boy. All right, bye guys.